But what would you buy it for $12,000 is the question.
I don't know if I would.
Today, we're going to be attempting our third FSD beta drive. This time, we're going to get even more ambitious, and we're going to try to go to the Amy's Ice Cream and the Arboretum. This is going to require us to, and the Twizzler, to get on the freeway, get off the freeway, get on the feeder, and go into a pretty busy parking lot. So to say I'm nervous is really undercutting how I feel right now, but I have pretty much awesome faith in Twizzler and in this man in particular. Who will definitely guide us and make sure that we get there in one piece. If we do, cross fingers, get there in one piece, which I'm sure we will, then we're going to talk to you guys about what we think about the drive and kind of some quick pros and cons about FSD beta as a whole. So catch us on the flip side. We'll see how this goes.
I'm driving down an empty freeway. No waiting for the light to change. I'm seeing the sunrise behind me. The memory as a whole, and it's hard to admit. Old habits hard to forget. I spend the night alone, clear text from my phone, but hope you'll call me again. Oh, underneath the night sky, a world for you to hide, and I can never figure you out. When you step into the light, the shadows terrify the love I used to know. Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure, babe, in the glow, outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name, now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face. Your world I will forget. You'll become a silhouette. Details fade as I'm walking away, hiding in the shadows. Profile figure, babe, in the glow, outline the shape that you pose. Worn out pages where I wrote your name, now blur is all that they show. Details fade as I turn from your face. Your world I will forget. You'll become a silhouette. Your love is like an ocean ready to take sail, swept up by current, swallowed by a wave. Take heed, they'll say, no, no, no need to get out, just stay on a lovely holiday. Our love is easy lasting, holiday so easy passing. Our love is easy lasting, holiday so easy passing. Together we're an island, only grains of sand. You and me make one if you're counting on my hand. Take heed, they'll say, no, no, no need to get out, just stay on a lovely holiday. Lovely holiday. Our love is easy lasting, holiday so easy passing. Our love is easy lasting, holiday so easy passing. Didn't see it coming, but we hit the ground running. No time to publicize that we're not just funny. That we're not just funny. Our love is easy lasting, holiday so easy passing. Our love is easy lasting, holiday
Woo!
That was pretty good.
That was frightening. I mean, it was really pretty good the whole way, except in this parking lot, which I really can't blame it because, I mean, the Arboretum's busy, right?
Yep.
And especially on a Sunday. So excellent. But we're going to go ahead and try to actually auto park, since that's a cool little feature that you get with FSD beta. So let's do that. And then we're going to go grab some ice cream, and then we're going to talk to you about our impressions.
I really love the autopilot.
That's awesome. Good old Amy's, right, honey?
Oh man, love Amy.
All right, you guys, here we are. We've got 2 malts. I got the Belgian chocolate.
Vanilla.
Let me try yours, honey. It's vanilla-y, delicious, but not very malty. Mine, however, it reminds me of that. That wins the malt award. It reminds me of that stuff that we used to have as kids. Remember, you mix in the milk?
Yeah.
Delicious. All right, so let's talk drive. How do you feel like she did going from our house to the Arboretum, basically door to door? What are your thoughts?
I thought it did a really good job on that. So transitions, it did real well. Accelerating, merging, on ramp, off ramp did real well. There was again, I think it's almost as if you have a teenager driving. So you always have to kind of pay attention to what it's doing, but I think it did a fantastic job. Definitely with lane changes, and with the on ramp, off ramp, and we'll call it stop sign management. I think it did real well with that. We had a couple of stop signs. I think that it comes to a complete stop, and I felt confident that it wouldn't go beyond that. There was one part of it that was a little nerve-wracking, I'd say, and that was the right on red onto the main road. So we had traffic coming at about 60 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, and we pulled a right on red. Maybe a little too close for my taste, but I think it did okay.
Just we were thinking, is it going to turn right on red? It was like, oh, okay, it is going to turn right on red.
Yeah, and it did it pretty fast, and it did safely, but I guess for our taste, I think it probably went a little fast. But I think turning out off of the road into parking lots, like this is a parking lot to a major retail center, I think it did real well with that. Now, with that said,
that was the part that scared me the most. Actually, I was really feeling pretty confident about how it was doing, and I was impressed. I was like, look at Twizzler go. But so when we pulled into the parking lot, which I mean, even in an ICE car, it's going to be difficult to maneuver in the parking lots like this because people are kind of moving crazily, pulling in, pulling out and stuff. But she made it okay in. It was like a little windy road in. But when she was trying to turn left into the parking lot, there was like a car coming. You'll see it on the video pulling out. Kind of taking up the whole road right there, the whole little lane.
Right.
And it kind of jiggled. It jiggled a little bit, but then it turned left, but there happened to be a pedestrian walking right behind that car, so it saw the pedestrian and kind of went, whoa! At the same time we went, whoa! It kind of freaked it out right there, and my heart definitely went powdering a lot more. But it recovered after that and kind of pulled us straight over to Amy's. But that was the closest where I thought, oh my gosh, we are gonna wreck.
Yeah, and I think you're doing. I mean, that's exactly right. I think it handled it as well as it could. Really. For me, and probably for you too, we're just testing it out to see what it can do. And I think it does a lot. It really does, even as a beta product.
And that's kind of what we are. That's what all the FSD beta drivers are. Like every drive we take, it's teaching it more and more and more. So it'll get better and better. I can't even imagine what the first FSD beta
those people must have been very brave to get it on the road.
Because what are we at, like 11 now?
Yeah, we're at 11 update.
And we just got in, so we're seeing this. And if we're kind of like, whoa, I can only imagine, the brave souls that came before us.
Right. So
drink a shake to them.
Yeah.
Let's talk pros and cons really quickly about FSD beta. So again, we're on the subscription, which is $199 a month. And you can also buy full out FSD beta for $12,000, which again, like I said last video, is a whole lot of money.
Yeah, I think both are very expensive.
Yeah, without question. No doubt. And then they introduced enhanced autopilot, which has a few of the pieces of FSD beta. But we're going to leave that to the side. We'll do a video on enhanced autopilot and what that entails. But for now, FSD beta and subscription, or not at all. You do cons. Why don't you do cons to this whole thing? Because you may have more than me, having driven it more than I have on FSD beta. What do you think?
So I think some of the cons, again, it's as if you have, it's not a product at this point that you can say go somewhere and it'll do it without any driver input. I think you just have to expect to keep it, just make sure that your hands are always near the controls and your feet.
Yeah, you can't just like sit in the back seat.
You can't sit in the back seat and
that
just let it
doesn't
run.
end well.
It's not there yet. But what it does do is pretty incredible, I think, for what it does, because traffic's unpredictable. People are unpredictable. I think another con to it, again, is back to what you just said, cost. I mean, for us who are pretty average people.
Teacher, pilot.
Yeah. It's expensive. And when we're doing this with the subscription, and I think that's how we kind of mitigate it. Because I think for anybody, unless you have that kind of cash, $12,000 just for a piece of software, which is an on-off thing. I mean, all the cars come equipped with everything you need. So
yeah, standard autopilot's great.
yeah,
right?
no matter what you get, what car you get, it has all the hardware and the software. It's just a matter of flipping an electronic switch to whether you get it or not.
Yeah, we got really lucky actually that we got into the FSD beta on the subscription because we only got the car in February and it made us drive like, no offense to grannies, but like grannies to make sure that we kept our safety score at 99 and 100 to get in. So I feel pretty lucky that we're even in on the subscription. I don't know how common that is or not, but I feel lucky that we're able to kind of sneak peek into FSD beta, right?
Right.
But what would you buy it for $12,000 is the question.
I don't know if I would. And I think it goes back to that fundamental argument you're probably going to see everywhere is if I put that money into this car, it's great for the life of the car. But if I wreck that car the day after I purchase it, or if I sell that car a year or two later, I lose that money. It doesn't go with my account with Tesla. It stays with the car,
Which really, really sucks.
which I think is a bad move on Tesla's part because I think they'd have a lot more buy-in. I think that the second part to that with the subscription, as we're trying to do, is we have the ability to turn it off and on. So if we don't care for it, we can turn it off and you don't pay. And then you turn it on if we're going to take a long trip or if we're going to use it, on the regular. Let's say it gets to that point where we're very comfortable using it on the regular. I think that you can turn it on and off. The risky run is if they change the price. Right now was what it is. And even at $200 a month, that's a lot of money. For some we're not using every single day. But I think, at least for us right now, the subscription is the way to go.
All right, let me come back in here with some pros because I do have a lot. First of all, if you get into FSD beta, like standard autopilot's awesome, but now that we've had a taste of FSD beta and the things it can do, it'd be very hard for me personally to turn off the subscription and be like, I want to make my car less good again. Because there's no question that our Twizzler is better under FSD beta than it was before. It does a lot of things better. Auto lane change is great. Instead of having to turn it off, like when you're on autopilot on the highway, you have to turn it off, get in your lane that you want to get into, and then re-engage it. May seem like a small thing, but with FSD beta, when you want to change lanes, if you're on autopilot on the highway, you just hit the left turn or the right turn, and it makes its own way into the next lane. That's kind of like a game changer. Again, little thing, but hard for me to get rid of if I'm like, let me turn the subscription off. I don't have that anymore. Also, y'all, let's not forget the big thing here. We have a car that drives itself. Does it drive itself perfectly? No.
Absolutely not.
But does anybody, like a 15-year-old drive it perfectly or drive a car perfectly? No. But the thing is, I never imagined when I was a kid, when we were watching the Jetsons and stuff, that we would ever be at a point where a car can drive us. The feeling is incredible. The technology is unbelievable. And these are all pros to it that I could say with certainty that we are not, at least I'm not, going to unsubscribe to this. Whether we're going to spend the $12,000, debatable. We're still thinking about it, but for the subscription, we are absolutely going to keep it. And I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
Tesla, incredible, right?
That's a great job. It's something that's not, there's no other product like it, right?
No, not even close.
Not even close. So
Well, thanks for watching, you guys. Appreciate it. We're going to bring you more content as we kind of get more and more used to our Twizzler. We appreciate you being on this journey with us. If you don't mind subscribing, that'd be great. Or hitting the bell notification to let you know when we're going to put up our next video. We're going to start kind of looking into more that you get with FSD beta, like auto park, right?
Some of the other
Summon.
features.
Yeah, there's other things besides it just driving itself. So keep checking in on us, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and thank you guys so much for watching.